36-year-old George, whose name was changed out of respect for the family, was driving to his second job one night in Northwest Houston when a pickup truck slammed into the back of him while going over 100 miles an hour. The impact killed George instantly, and the man who hit him is now in prison. This man was racing another car and unfortunately couldn't stop in time to keep from hitting George. Some may be asking or wondering why this is such an important topic. A lot of young people have this idea that nothing bad could happen to them or their loved ones. I know because I was one of those people as well. Imagine if your mom or dad, boyfriend or girlfriend, even grandparents or siblings died because of somebody else's carelessness. I have seen the impact that street racing has had on people's lives firsthand, and I have seen how those poor choices have affected people. Because the man that hit George is my cousin. Street racing is a very dangerous topic and can be deadly. By increasing monitoring and increasing the consequences of street racing, we can significantly decrease the issue and keep drivers safe all over Harris County. Street racing is an illegal activity that has caused many deaths in Harris County alone. This is not a victimless crime. In fact, most people who die from street racing weren't even involved in any way. While there have been some circumstances where racers are punished, the police do not seem to consider this a major issue. Within the last 3 years, there have been over 900 reports of street racing in Harris County. And within the last 3 months, 3 people have died, according to KPRC Channel 2 News. Officers of the Houston Police Department claim that they are cracking down on most of these charges and street racers, with making 42 arrests in the past year. But in reality, most of those charges are dropped or they end in probation or fines or tickets. So the question remains, what can be done about this issue? Now that we're aware of the problem that street racing is, let's talk about some possible solutions. One possible solution is to increase the charges that are put on racers. In 2018, the HPD claimed that there was a huge racing bus in Houston with 42 arrests and charges including evading arrest and child endangerment, but only a handful of those racers were charged with racing on a highway. If every racer was charged with the maximum possible charge, it could decrease the number of racers on the road. As of now, the consequences for street racing can range anywhere from tickets and fines to a suspended license and possible jail time. Most of the time, the majority of racers only receive tickets and fines. The House of Representatives in Austin have proposed a bill to increase the charges of street racers as well as spectators to have more severe consequences, but the bill failed to pass. Only repeat offenders have the more intense consequences, so if the charges for illegal street racers increase, the decrease of racers would be possible. Another possible solution would be to increase police patrols around major racing areas and roadways. According to the HPD, they have been cracking down on street racing as early as 2014, but only sometimes charge racers with misdemeanors on their first offense. And if you don't know, misdemeanors are tickets and fines. Most of the time, you don't get jailed for it. By increasing patrols on the main roads, the likeliness of street racing will decrease. Since there have not been any police patrol or any increase in police patrol, the amount of street racing just hasn't gone down. The Houston Police Department also claims that the number of street racers has gone down since the start of the pandemic. So there is no real need to patrol over areas because there's a lot of individuals who are in quarantine. But once again, this is not the case. In fact, there have been over 400 calls this year alone to the Harris County Sheriff's Office complaining about street racers and spectators. If there was an increase in patrol officers on highways and major racing roads, the amount of racers will decrease. So today we talked about the problem of street racing and the dangers that it can cause, and we talked about a couple solutions that we can do to help protect us and other people from street racing. Street racing in Harris County has become a very dangerous and big issue. The idea that it is not as big of an issue as other crimes is a main reason as to why street racing has become so big. By increasing patrols and raising the charges of street racing, we can significantly reduce the number of racers and deaths on the road. George and his family endured so much because of the decision to street race illegally. Because of that choice, somebody's life was lost. By being a safer driver and making safe driving choices, you can help stop street racing. Making the decision to street race not only puts your life in danger, it puts everyone else's life in danger as well. Please make responsible choices while driving and don't street race.